Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. Jared of Subway confesses to child porn? Timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called a trap. Admiral Akbar famously warns of this sort of thing. This entire story is set up for you to tune in to the TV, read the magazines, buy the newspaper, if anybody ever still does that. Now, the guy over the foundation is an admitted child porn person. Sources close to Jared said Jared had never been involved in it. But now he's confessing to it? They had said they found nothing in his house and weren't charging him. But now there's a trial? They can't both be true. What do we know is true? We know Jared is famous. The guy over the charity is not. Jared's name sells news stories. The other guy, whose name I don't even know, does not. You see a pattern here? I see this all the time. In fact, I don't know if the famous people actually go to jail. For instance, I always have a for instance. Wesley Snipes was on a movie set a couple of months after he was supposed to be in jail. How'd that happen? In fact, he was cited by several peoples on several occasions when he was supposed to be in jail. And he's not the only person like that. There are a lot of these stories where you hear, the famous person, and there's it was always some involvement with somebody else, but the famous person supposedly is the one that they go after. And you don't even know if the famous person was even in the state. They move around quite a bit, Not that I watch the Kardashians, but you can see from her schedule, Kim Kardashian can be in 3 different cities in one day. And this is a typical schedule for her. Now, this is Kim Kardashian, who really isn't doing anything, really isn't that famous. I know people say, she's all over, she's everywhere. She's not that famous. We're talking, when we're in the realm of being famous, I don't mean internet famous. I don't mean reality TV show famous. I mean actually famous. Those people have a hectic schedule. Just like when I heard that they said, Wesley Snipes was evading taxes. Wesley Snipes doesn't do his taxes. Come on, cuz, as they say, right? You think Wesley Snipes sits down, I'm going to now open up my bureau and do my taxes. No, come on. He probably doesn't even get sleep. He's so busy. You think he actually sits down? I have an accountant. I have a tax person. I'm not even rich. Personally, there's tons of people with a tax person who are not rich. Wesley Snipes isn't even Wesley Snipes. He's Wesley Snipes Incorporated. Do you think that he does his taxes? And it was all over the news. And what was the moral of that story? You can't evade taxes. This whole notion, this conspiracy notion that the IRS is unconstitutional is all malarkey. Look, we put this very famous person, and it wasn't a black thing, but it was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a black thing, but it was. It's always a black thing, although it isn't, right? Wesley Snipes served as the quote-unquote famous person, but he is in fact black, and I have not heard of a case such as that, in recent history at least, of them putting a very super famous white actor in jail. And there are a ton of white actors that do not pay taxes, legitimately. And the whole, Confederate flag and the whole 9 yards, the whole KKK, the whole 9 yards. They've got a bunker in Iowa. I mean, just the whole kit and caboodle, all the way crazy. Now, I'm saying they're crazy. I'm not saying that people with bunkers are crazy. These people are crazy. Not thrown in jail. Not sent to trial. So when I say it wasn't a black thing, but it really is, meaning when you want to make an scapegoat, you can grab a Negro at any time and make him the scapegoat, because those fine, upstanding white people, no matter how crazy they are still white. We're not going to put a fine, upstanding, crazy white person in jail. So I don't believe this whole Jared thing. Why don't I believe it? Because sources close to him on the very first day that this all broke out said, oh, they're not going to find anything. Jared is not involved in that. They came right out and said, he came right out on the sidewalk. I think his lawyer or his manager or something like that came right out, his aide, if you get that joke, came right out on the sidewalk and says, well, they're not going to find anything. Jared doesn't do that. He's not involved in that. I have no idea why the FBI is here in the first place. And that really was the question, wasn't it? Stop believing everything that you see. And I have people argue with me. Even when I have the person recorded and saying it, still, you want to cling to who are you? Oh, I'm the person that just showed you the guy saying that he had never done anything. His lawyer, just point blank. But people want to believe what they want to believe, I guess, But I'm here to say, hey, this isn't what it looks like. Now Jared confesses. Does that remind you of somebody? Oh, we got his confession. Does that remind you of anybody recently? Huh? It should. Because I told you the confession was bunk. And I have all of my videos come under attack all of a sudden. Oh, he confessed. I have it. He confessed. No, he didn't confess. Or he didn't confess in the way that you think he confessed. And this is why people hate lawyers, right? Lawyers will try and twist words to mean something that they don't mean, right? You have a prosecution and you have a defense. The prosecution will twist the words. The defense will twist the words. And the truth lies somewhere distant in between, right? He confessed, but he didn't confess to what you think he confessed to. Or the defense attorney would say, he did not confess to anything that the case is involved with, which means he did not confess. But none of you all have a law degree, so they can tell you all sorts of stuff. Oh, he confessed. Oh, I believe it, 'cause I'm just an idiot. Even when people are giving testimony that the other person involved wasn't there. Huh? You heard me? Wasn't there. Wasn't even in the same state. How do I know? Oh, I'm sorry. How do they know? Because they were with them. Just like you have an alibi, you also have testimony. And sometimes the testimony goes against the person who's trying to prosecute somebody else. No, he couldn't have done the murder. These are real cases. He couldn't have done the murder. He was 50 miles away at a party with 500 people, and yet the guy still goes to jail. I'm telling you, people, we do not have a justice system, and the media is the whore of Babylon in these United States. They like to twist. No. Donald Trump says he hates all Mexicans. He never said that. In fact, he said emphatically he loves Mexicans. But he does business with Mexico. Now, if you can't get that distinction, then you deserve to be as stupid as you are. I would that all of you all would be intellectual. If I can't impart anything else, let me impart my intellectuality that I can stand back and observe the facts. The facts is the guy never said he hated Mexicans. Never, ever. But people are now lying on him and saying that he said it. And the media is repeating what those people said. Why? Just like in this case, so they can sell magazines. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.